goes. Savage Combatives. Yep.
Welcome to this small town. Have a seat, drink and sing. Welcome to my ocean. The air is easy and salty. And I don't mind if you don't mind me. Sing for your life, sing for me. Let our song echo and ring in a million years for eternity. Oh, I'm home now, as home as I'll ever be. Oh, close your eyes and hold on to me.
Alright guys, it's Ragnar with Savage Combatives and
Fenris.
with Savage Combatives. Fenris runs our bushcraft survival portion of the company. He is our course developer and our main instructor right now for the bushcraft and survival portion. We already had a video at one point of these Shemaghs, and while we were out a week ago, out in the bush kind of doing some bushcraft survival stuff, doing some stuff with the family. My wife was actually out there and she did something unique that we hadn't even seen before, which was make a wrap to carry our 3-year-old son out of the bush, tying 2 of these together. Kind of inspired us to come back and reshoot our Shemagh video. So one of the things I wanted to discuss, and I'll take this off right now, but one of the things I wanted to discuss is we've been seeing in some of these bushcraft forums lately, right? These guys that don't like these.
Yep.
They think that they're for tactical operators only, or wannabe operators, or whatever the case is. And one of the questions that got brought up, or one of the statements that got brought up was, if you want something to be able to be similar to a Shemagh, why don't you just use a bandana? Well, first and foremost, as a law enforcement officer, particularly going out early in the morning, sitting in surveillance and stuff like that, I use these things to keep me warm in the morning when it's really cold. When I was in the Border Patrol in the Sonoran Desert, and when I was deployed as a Marine, I used to keep me cool when I was in the desert. So the question is, why not just use a bandana? Can you use a bandana to effectively give you climate control? I would say no. You tie this around you, you're gonna look like an Aussie. You can even put it off to the side. But on a serious note, this is not going to do what a Shemagh is going to do to effectively keep you warm or to effectively keep you cool. In order to keep you cool, pour some water on it, whip it around a few times. It'll make the fabric nice and cool. You put it around your neck and it will cool you off rapidly, particularly if you're suffering from heat exhaustion or even heat stroke. It's going to keep you warm. Obviously you don't want to put any water on it. You're just going to wrap it around your neck the way Fenris has his wrapped around his neck. You can use it as a blanket, or you can put it around your legs. I usually keep 2 of them with me because I have my windows rolled down in the morning. When I am sitting on surveillance, I have one around my neck covering my patches as well, my police patches, and I have one wrapped around my legs, and it keeps me super warm. So that's just some of the things that I've come up with. What are some of the things that you use them for?
We use them a lot for climate control, building a microclimate for your body, keep yourself warm or cool, depending on the environment. We use them a lot for filtering particulates, large particulates out of water, before we boil it, obviously. It doesn't filter microbes, it doesn't filter Giardia, Cryptosporidium, anything like that, but it will filter the large particles out, so at least it's a little bit more palatable. You're not getting all those chunks in your water. We use them for pressure dressings if we're out. A lot of times we carry small IFAKs or small first aid kits, but if something bad happens when you're out in the wild, you only have what you have on you. So it can act as an arm sling, it can act as a pressure bandage, it can act as something as simple as a tourniquet. Something like if you break your arm, getting a stick and tying that around the stick to be able to splint the arm or the leg. There's so many reasons to carry a Shemagh, but not enough reasons not to.
Right. So, I mean, the major reason being, if you're not a tactical operator, you shouldn't carry it. Now, you ride a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about how you wear it when you're riding a motorcycle.
Cold mornings, I'll throw it around my neck and put my helmet on, and all that cold air coming up onto my throat, because you've got 2 main arteries here. When those 2 arteries get cold, your whole body gets cold. It's like a radiator in a car. So I'll throw that above my neck, around my neck, and all that cold air coming up stops instantly. The other thing I can do is ball it up, and I wear a motorcycle or dirt bike style helmet, so I can ball it up and put it right in front of my mask in the front, and keeps my mouth warm, keeps my face warm, because all that hot air coming out of my mouth will warm the rest of my face.
You know, and that being said, even as I wear it in the morning, if we're going to go out and do any sort of operations or trainings in the morning, it gets really cold, I can put that right up over my face and it'll warm my face as well. In addition to that, and I think I mentioned this in the last video, and I've told you this story before, my team and I were out doing a training exercise, and there was other people that were involved in a training exercise, and they were popping off CS gas, and it blew right towards us. Essentially, everybody in my team were coughing, hacking, you know, they had that much tear gas going into your lungs. I pulled this thing right up over my face, didn't need to get it wet, didn't need to do anything, and I was absolutely fine. I was able to continue the mission. So this piece of gear, if nothing else, I mean, you keep 2 or 3 in your car too, right?
I wrap one around each headrest in my seat. I mean,
you got a kid?
I got a kid, so if he's got to cover his
blankets.
mask for something, or cover his face for something that's in the air,
Yep.
no problem. Perfect blankets. He gets cold, I'll unwrap it from the headrest, put it over the top of him, warms him right up.
Yep. The other thing I like about these Savages, and Fenris can attest to this too because he's a gun guy as well, is if you get in a pinch and you need something to clean your firearm, this is a perfect material. It's not too thick. You can cut them off. You can use patches. You can wipe down the rails on your firearm, do a quick field cleaning job with your firearm. You can go ahead.
I carry a 12 gauge when I'm out in the bush. There's conversion kits to be able to fire a 22 long rifle through. There's a million reasons why I carry a single shot 12 gauge. But one of the things you can do is a bore snake. You tie a piece of 550 cord around the end of this on a rock, run that through your bore, and it cleans out your entire bore. Just something as simple as that. They're so versatile and so pragmatic.
Right. Pragmatic. That's a really good word.
I like that word.
Yeah.
Practical. That's what it
Practical.
means.
That's what it means. So the other thing that I use it for, and I know this is going to sound weird, and yes, you can use a handkerchief for it, is blowing my nose, wiping off sweat, wiping off blood. Sometimes I'll have oil or something on my hands, and you know, trying to operate a firearm, particularly a pistol or something like that, when you have things on your hand, it's really easy just to take your Shemagh, dry your hands off, or whatever the case is. I mean, can you do it on your clothes and stuff? Sure, but just to have that piece of gear, and what are they? The cheapest ones you can get are maybe $6 or $7. They go up to maybe $10 or $12. To have a piece of gear that you can do so much with, I don't see why anybody would not want to have it.
Muscle memory, we were walking down here and I had some stuff on my glasses from walking through the trees. It was just second nature to clean my glasses off real quick, throw them right back on my face, and I'm back to hiking again without even having to stop, pull a handkerchief out of my pocket, any of that stuff. It's hands down one of the most universal pieces of gear that I use.
You know, we both have small children. Our children are out of diapers now, thank God. But when they weren't, sometimes you're out, you're camping, you're fishing, doing whatever the case is, and you need to clean your kid up. And this is a lot of material that goes really far. It's easily washable. To be able to clean your kid up, you know, to be able to have your wife have a large piece of cloth for whatever she might need it for hygienically, a washcloth, a dry cloth, cut it in a piece so you can have a washcloth to wash your own body and have the rest of it to dry yourself off when you're in the bush. I can't think of any reason why not to have it. You know, one of the things I use it most for, believe it or not? Putting a bunch of stuff in, wrapping it up.
Yep.
And when I have a bunch of small things at the range, you're shooting at the range, you throw all of your extra shells, especially if you reload or something like that, and you don't have a container for it, throw them all in there, wrap it up, you're good to go. So
I carry a bushcraft pack in my truck 24/7, and it's got a lot of gear in it that's quite expensive. That's sitting in the back seat. We live in California. It's not the best of crime rate around here. So I'll take my Shemagh and camouflage, throw it right over the top of my pack, and somebody walking by looks in my windows, all they see is a piece of cloth. They don't see that expensive backpack with all the gear strapped to the outside. So camouflage is not only for the operator snipers,
right,
but it can be for anything in everyday life.
it doesn't necessarily have to be a sniper camouflaging his rifle or a sniper camouflaging. Like I said, I use this to camouflage my patches, and you can camouflage stuff in your car.
Yep.
Hey, we didn't want this video to go too long, guys. We just wanted to give you guys the nuts and bolts of this. This isn't going to be a how-to video on how to properly tie these things. It's not going to be an extensive video. There are literally lists out there with hundreds of different uses for a Shemagh. We just wanted to talk about what we use them for. What I use them for as a law enforcement officer, what Fenris uses them for out in survival and bushcraft, and give you guys kind of the nuts and bolts of this thing. So without further ado, as always, stay savage.
Home now, as home as I'll ever be. Whoa. Oh,